So it has recently come to my attention that the name Fordham Conversations is something that already exists, and it's something that WFUV does. So, that's an embarrassing oversight on my part, so I'm changing the name. I've already changed the episode titles on YouTube. So from now on, it's going to be called Fordham Firesides. Still the exact same show, just, different name. It's just better if we do that, so. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Fordham Firesides. I'm your host, Hank Michaels, and today I have a great guest, Mr. Ryan Olesen, everyone.
Hey, guys. How's everyone doing?
How you doing, Ryan?
Doing well. I'm so happy to be on the show. This is like a lifelong dream.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's all coming true?
Yeah, when you first put this out with Teddy and Simon, I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get on the show. Like, this is right up my alley.
Oh, yeah.
And, I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here
dude.
And conversate.
Yeah, you're my episode 4. You made it pretty quickly. Yeah, no, you're a good guy. I know you're going to be a great guest. So.
Oh, thanks, Hank. Appreciate it.
So how do you feel about this name change situation?
So let me see. Who exactly does the WFUV podcast, who do they interview? I've never really heard of it too much.
See, I don't really know too much, and I don't want to speak for them or, say something incorrect. But what happened was I was with my friend, and he was with his girlfriend, and she had heard oh yeah, I heard Simon was on Fordham Conversations or something, and she's like that can't be right, that's a WFUV thing, and I got really confused. I'm like, no, that's not true. This is and she's like, no, I'm pretty sure this is a show that they actually do, and I looked it up, and sure enough, they interview Jesuits and alumni or something, just I don't know, Fordham people.
That's awesome. I
didn't look into it too much, but I know that we have to change the name. And then I was in my class, and the kid who sits next to me was like, Fordham Firesides would be a good name. So, here we are.
So from my understanding, it seems like Fordham Firesides is the underground podcast of the Fordham.
Yeah. I mean, I'm completely independent. I don't work with the university. You never know if they make me change the name. I get you can't use Fordham or something. So now then it's just gonna be Hank's Firesides, and then we're just completely far away from Fordham Conversations.
Honestly, though, it's the same community. We all know you. We all love you, and that's the important part.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, the show is all about getting on good guests that have anything to do with Fordham.
Honestly, I think podcasts are the wave.
Oh yeah. You know how I actually found out the name podcast refers specifically to iPod.
Really?
It's radiocast or broadcast, but it's with an iPod because you would listen to it on an iPod, so it's podcast. Right. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but Apple has nothing to do with that name legally.
It's so funny. It's just I remember seeing when I first got my first iPod, seeing the whole podcast feature.
Yeah.
I never really understood it, but now I feel it's just taken such a leap.
Yeah, no, yeah. It confused me when I first started podcasts. I was it was when I had my first iPod, I was in middle school, and I was reading Harry Potter at the time, and I saw there's a Harry Potter podcast, and I turned it on. It's just these people talking about nothing that had anything to do with Harry Potter, and I was I was just confused. But I love podcasts, and now we have one of our own at Fordham, so
definitely.
Yeah. So Ryan, I know you're a big Supreme guy.
Big Supreme guy.
Yeah, my brother is too, and I know a little bit about it. I know it's huge, it's expensive, and people are really into it for some reason. So how do you feel about it? What explain it to me.
So my connection with Supreme is I really got interested in it. So let me preface this by saying that a lot of my family members are in the music business. A lot of them have worked at record labels and other stuff like that. So, I started getting into different types of music, all different genres from an early age. And the thing with Supreme and, Supreme being one brand out of, the general category of clothing that's streetwear referred to.
Yeah.
That's what it's referred to. There's a huge connection between music and all different types of culture, and then brands like Supreme and other types of streetwear.
Okay.
So you're watching music videos and you might see some of the artists wearing Supreme or Bape or Palace or one of these different types of brands, and I think a lot of that is part of the allure, and that's why people are drawn to it, because they idolize different artists like A$AP Rocky and Kanye West and you know, they see Kanye West wearing a Supreme t-shirt, you know, millions of people are going to go out and try and get that t-shirt because they want to be just like Kanye West.
Yeah.
So, you know, by watching the music videos and, you know, also just going to school in New York. I mean, Supreme was founded in New York. And, you know, it's kind of part of the culture of being in the city and not only going to school in the city, but like living in the area. And, you know, just that whole connection between music and the culture of what's going on at the time is how, you know, I was really, it was really brought to my attention.
Okay. And it's been around since like the 90s, right? Which kind of blows my mind because I feel like it's a recent phenomenon.
I will say, I think the past couple years, it's absolutely exploded.
Yeah.
Absolutely exploded. It's been around for quite a bit. I wish I had the exact dates. I want to say late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, really?
I could be wrong on that, so fact check. But yeah, it's recently exploded. I think a lot, mainly because of social media. You know, artists will be posting pictures, and you know, cultural icons will be posting pictures wearing the new Supreme jacket or the new Bape jacket or something like that. And from there, you know, obviously social media is huge, and it connects artists and whatever artists are doing in their lifestyle to, you know, the general public and their fans. And I think because of that, because we're constantly seeing what these artists are doing, that's a major reason why people are so drawn to it.
Yeah, they're going after like the status and, I mean, the brand. Like, I feel like that's what Supreme is at this point, is like they're selling the brand. Because I see like a plain white t-shirt that could be, you know, $20. I mean, $5 at Macy's or something, but you know, you slap the Supreme logo on it, all of a sudden it's $80, and it makes it so much nicer. But it's because they've elevated their brand status. But how do you think it got to that point? Like, when did they become like, you know, skater clothing to like something that people like want? Like, what made the like these artists and stuff like go after this brand that elevated it?
Yeah, so I mean, first off, Supreme, they used to only have, you know, one store in New York, and it was almost like a cult. You know, a couple skaters would be hanging outside the store, and you know, just they would wear it.
Yeah,
you know, you wouldn't see normal people walking around wearing Supreme. Everyone was like a skater, really interested in like that underground culture. And that's you know, that exclusivity of like being part of something is, I think, what captivated a lot of people to it. And the combination of the media and you know, the greater artist presence. And I think a lot of artists kind of fell in love with the brand too, especially New York artists, is because, you know, once again, it has to do with that urban inner city culture.
Yeah.
And you got artists that grew up in Harlem and grew up in, you know, other Brooklyn, you know, the Bronx, and they're all like, they gravitate to this brand because, like, you know, it's New York. And I mean, now they have stores all around the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's also really popular in LA too. They have you know, they have a store in LA as well.
All over the world. Like,
all over
there's
the world.
one in London.
Yeah, one in London, and you know, that idea of being in like an urban scenario, you know, urban living space, and that's, you know, that's really what drew a lot of people to it, especially artists. You know, they're representing their home city. You know, artists from LA, artists from New York.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like it's like a way of expression.
Yeah. One thing that's actually, I feel like, is interesting, these brands like Gucci and whatever, I felt like they used to be something like my grandma would wear. Like, it's nice, you know, upscale, but I feel like they're also becoming streetwear also. Like, people are kind of like taking those brands, like wearing those clothes, and it's become more like hypebeast stuff also, which is kind of fascinating to me.
You know, not everyone can go out and spend $5,000 on a bag. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I think the brand is starting to raise their prices in some ways.
Okay.
And I think that's to counter, you know, the crazy demand for it, because they can get, you know, people are willing to pay, you know, $200 for a sweatshirt, right?
Yeah.
And the brand wants that money. You know, now the interesting thing is, and I wanted to, you know, this is a huge part of it, and this actually kind of explains why I got really interested in the brand itself too.
Yeah.
Is the whole reselling culture.
Okay.
Now, like, as I was saying, these items are very exclusive. People wait outside in lines for days to get their hands on a sweatshirt, right?
Yeah.
You know, some of the people want to do this because they want the sweatshirt for themselves, but a good 80% of the people are getting those items to resell them online.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that's just unfair? Or,
honestly, that's how I became really interested in it.
okay.
It's a market. It's a way to make money.
Do you resell Supreme stuff ever?
I do. You know, I do, certainly not as much as others. You know, actually, that's kind of it's funny how I got interested in finance from, you know, finding value in Supreme items. I was like, wait, you know, I can just apply, you know, learning about a market and learning about specific types of items to like learning about specific types of companies and learning about different types of financial markets.
Okay.
You know, a little more applicable to like the real world, but it's an interesting parallel, and I think it's I mean, do I like it? Obviously, I'd like to, you know, get my hands on one of those items for a cheaper price, but it's part of how what the brand is. People will wait in these lines to resell the items. You know, a sweatshirt could sell for, I mean, I have one sweatshirt that could probably sell for upwards of $1,000.
Really?
And that isn't even like the most expensive one. Like the Louis Vuitton ones, ridiculously expensive prices.
I'm
like
sure.
$10,000, $20,000. You know.
And how much are these things at face value?
They'll be like a sweatshirt, a box logo sweatshirt would be like the most, you know, popular, one of the most, you know, demanded items would be probably about $130. Now $150.
Okay.
I think they raised the prices, which is still expensive to begin with.
Yeah.
But then, you know, someone will buy it once again because they're super limited in quantity. They'll flip it online for, you know, between $500 and $1,000 usually for one of the less popular ones, and they only come out once a year. For some of the big hoodies that everyone wants aren't like released year round. They drop. Supreme will have their drops, you know, every Thursday in the fall and in the spring, right?
They have set dates for that.
Set dates.
Okay.
And they won't release it out like right away, but a lot of people can tell like, oh, you know, it's this day, and I think this is coming out next week. Got to get ready for that. And like people will be able to, you know, they'll camp out, they'll get ready to camp out and go get those items. Now Supreme also has an online store, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, once again, the quantity is just as limited online as it is in the stores.
Is it at, like proportional, or is it literally how much they have online is the equivalent to one store?
It's a good question. They definitely have more on. They definitely have more
Okay.
online. Yeah, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So like people will go on. Everyone will go on at the same time because it drops at the same time. I think it's like I haven't been on the online store in a minute, but I think it's like 11 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So it'll drop at 11 a.m. every Thursday, and you know everyone in the whole entire world is going on at that time, and like no one gets anything because the site crashes.
Yeah.
So it actually opened up a whole new market into like the bot software, the auto purchase software. That people buy. So people basically will buy these softwares that will called bots. People refer to them as that will go in and buy the item for you, and you don't have to do anything. So the funniest thing is you're not only competing against other people throughout the world, you're competing against robots throughout the world that are also trying to buy the same thing. So it's just absolutely nuts. It's crazy.
I feel like that's like vaguely similar to what happens with concert ticket sales too. Like.
Exact same
and
thing.
that's why they have all those protections, like those sites like Axis and SeatGeek and stuff. They, you know, I'm not a robot. You got to click on that, so they don't have these bots coming in and buying just, you know, all the tickets and then reselling them for double the price. Which I feel like unless I wake up, you know, in time to buy the ticket right away, I become victim to that, and I'm paying $65 for like a $40 ticket. But, you know, it happens. But I think they're trying to put protections like to stop that from happening. The funny thing about is like all of Supreme in these streetwear is like how much the brand like creates the value. Like funny story, my brother I mentioned is really into Supreme, right? And for his birthday, no, it was for Christmas last year. He wanted like Supreme stuff for Christmas, so my sister and I went to the Supreme store. The one I think at the time it had just opened, the one in like Greenwich Village.
Got you. That one's been around for.
Oh,
that was
has
their
it?
first store. Oh, it's in Soho. It's
Soho.
on Lafayette Street.
That's been around for a while.
Yeah, that was their first store. I can't remember exactly if they moved, but
That
that's
might
like
have been it.
That's like their
that
main
might
store.
be why I'm confused. But yeah, anyways, so we go there and the stuff's like crazy expensive. It's like red T-shirt, maybe a little design on it. And what I ended up doing, like he got some Supreme stuff, but I went to this like comic book store a couple blocks away, and there was a Star-Lord Guardians of the Galaxy shirt. It was like minimalist, it was gray, and it had like his mask design on it, just like, I don't know, right on the shirt, and that was it. And what I did is I wrapped it up and gave it to him and said, "This is a Supreme Guardians of the Galaxy shirt," and I paid $15 for it, and he probably thought it was like $60 or something.
Yeah, at least.
and he loved it. And he would like wear it all the time. And eventually, I told him that I was like, I got it at a comic book store. That was not Supreme. And then I haven't seen him wear it since. But just by people like thinking that it is Supreme, like, you know, it makes it more elite and it makes it cooler. And I think that's just fascinating to me. And I wonder if it's like flash in the pan, if it's just this decade or if it's just going to keep growing. Like, I don't know. It's something that I feel like we just have to wait and see, like, when that trend dies out.
Yeah, and you know, once again, it comes down to really good marketing, really great branding. And,
Yeah.
You know, it helps. It's free publicity when you see Kanye West wearing a Supreme shirt.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where the value comes. It's the brand image. That's what it is. It's the same reason like why someone's willing to spend $5,000 on, or $20,000 on a Rolex, and or $100 on like a Casio watch or something like that. You know, it's like branding is powerful. It's an extremely powerful tool, and that Supreme has mastered that art so well. And I honestly think they've done it with way less cost than some of these other places.
Yeah, it's kind of insane, and it's funny how like you can make a really great product, and if it's nice, you can value it at a couple $100, but once your brand has recognition, it can just shoot up to like double or triple of what it's like really worth.
Absolutely.
Like some of these Supreme t-shirts could be going for $20, but they're just not, and they've kind of earned it, and it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So Ryan, thanks for coming on, man.
Hank, thanks for having me. This is great. I got to come on again sometime.
Yeah, you definitely will be on again. This was an awesome show. Sorry your light went out. I hope that didn't affect the video quality.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, we'll live. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for dealing with the name change. Don't forget to subscribe. I've officially decided that episodes will be coming out every Monday and Thursday. So this one's out on today, Monday, and then we'll be getting 2 a week for the foreseeable future. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.